I remember as an adolescent when I first started listening to the album Homework by Daft Punk. There are tons of classics on that album. The hip-hop infused defunk, the endless disco of Around the World. But the song that I found the most intriguing was Rollin' and Scratchin'. The first 2 minutes almost sound like a joke. There's this brittle kick snare hammering away, and what can only be described as a digital alarm joins in. This really thin buzzing noise. But then this other section starts, the main motif. This undulating wave of syncopated distortion. It's as rich as it is caustic. By the midpoint of the song, all of these things combine with the only actual melody, this fuzzy pitch-bending synth. It's very simple, but it just blew me away. This was a far cry from the shimmering disco masterpieces strewn about Discovery like so many diamonds, but it was powerful in its own way nonetheless. Even amongst the track list on Homework, it was hard to find other songs that captured the sensations this track evolved. But what if I told you there was another musical group that consistently captured this feeling of aggression, simplicity, and groove? And they aren't even DJs, they're a rock band. Enter Dublin's Gilla Band, formerly girl band. While they were mostly associated with the post-punk scene, as far as I can tell they weren't part of a distinct sonic or aesthetic movement, which freed them up to create their own sound, a wild mix of overpowering noise from guitarist Alan Dugan and bassist producer Daniel Fox, vocals that were by turn melancholic croons and terrifying shrieks courtesy of Derek Healy, and unrelenting repetitive drums by Adam Faulkner. If you're watching this, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your names. They were drawing influences from all over the place, the layered aggression of Bad Brains, as well as the psychedelic techno of Chemical Brothers. But it is worth noting that Gilla Band formed out of the remnants of the indie rock band Harrows, which formed while the members were still teenagers. The band was self-described as a hit version of The Strokes. In this clip, you could see Keeley on drums and Faulkner on guitar. While in many respects Gilla Band's abrasions are a far cry from the effortless cool the Strokes cultivated, you could still hear the remnants of the New York band's influence if you listen closely, especially in Keeley's vocal shifting between detached moans and raspy howls. Take for example the Strokes song 15 Minutes off of their third album First Impressions of Earth, which seems to chronicle Julian Casablancas having a meltdown at a party. The performance of the song makes it feel as if it's happening in real time, with Casablancas starting the song off drunkenly rambling over a 6/8 ballad about how everything was just a dream. It was all just a dream. By the time the tempo picks up, Casablancas is hardly less inebriated, but he's certainly freaking out, screaming his paranoia about the intentions of the people around him. Now listen to the progression of Gilla Band's fantastic Pairs for Lunch. The beginning juxtaposes an insistent guitar and bass attack reminiscent of an alarm, with Keeley's detached moans. In the narrative, he passes his time doing both the mundane, such as going for a jog, and the unnerving, watching Top Gear with his pants down and covered in Sudocrem. It's as if his forced apathy alone will keep the anxiety at bay. His loneliness and lack of purpose seem to have pushed him into strange states of mind. Finally, he can't hold back the terror any longer. He shrieks about snorting a wasp as a tsunami of thick noise slams the speakers. It's worth noting that you don't need to know any of the band members' backstories or even the song's lyrics in order to understand what these songs are conveying. The arrangements and performances of the four members alone can do the job. Intent plays a big role in Gilla Band's work. I wouldn't say that any of the members of Gilla Band are virtuosos on their instruments, and you can certainly find dance punk and post-punk bands whose playing is tighter, but their work is almost crystalline in intent. Every pedal pressed, every cymbal hit, every syllable placement is done with intent. At the beginning of The Last Riddler, while Fox is wringing rubbery groans out of his bass, Dugan plays this bright D major suite. It seems to have no bearing on the rest of the song and sounds like an amp check more than anything. But they do this live, every single time. Because that's the song. If they didn't do that, they'd be playing the song incorrectly. Gilla Band are sculptors, constructing the song live with specific intent, faithfully to how they were written without really straying or reinterpreting. Sounds like it could get stale, right? Well, here's the thing. As you've probably noticed, Gilla Band songs are fucking insane. They're brutal, frightening, extreme, and really fun. Fox and Dugan's double string attack functions almost entirely outside the typical roles guitar and bass have in rock music. Their interlacing textures are almost closer to the roles Monkey and Head play in the band Korn. And if you think this isn't an apt comparison, I need you to listen to You're a Dog by Gilla Band and Adidas by Korn back to back. Maybe a little bit? Anyway, let's talk about Gilla Band's lyrics. Well, now we've gotten to the subject referenced in the title of this video. While Keeley has a strong inclination towards absurd imagery in his lyrics, a distinct narrative reveals itself in multiple songs throughout the album. See, Gilla Band's breakout hit Lawman, despite its abstract, surreal lyrics, was based around a breakup Keeley was going through at the time. The song's success, as is not uncommon, seemed to only exacerbate struggles with mental health that he was facing. He started to believe he was God, and at one point camped in a tent in his mom's backyard, refusing to leave. The Last Riddler illustrates Keeley's process being checked into a facility. Keeley pushes away his anxieties about being hospitalized by asking the doctor random questions. Finally, though, it all comes out, with Keeley screaming, "I don't want to go." The details of the breakup he was going through are as abstracted as any of Gilla Band's lyrics, but there are clear glimpses of Keeley's coping and processing in tracks like Texting an Alien, perhaps the most dreamy of any song on the album. Alan Dugan's watery guitar strumming is almost reminiscent of an early Coldplay ballad. Keeley imagines bizarre scenarios that he and his ex respectively are currently in, now that they're apart. At the minute I'm just wearing Link Africa, talking about Chris and past dishes. At the minute she's putting the jackets on the coat of tablets and listening to the jet sounds or something. The strange things Keeley imagines his ex doing are an acknowledgement that she's out of his life. She could be doing literally any sort of fanciful thing. Ultimately, it's not his business anymore. For all its lyrical zaniness, there are universal feelings and actions just underneath. He looks at her photos occasionally just to piss himself off. The album's explosive finale is the breakup song to end all breakup songs, The Witch Doctor. Keeley continues the theme of combining the commonplace with the chaotic, before jumping to the heart of the matter, his yearning, through the repeated refrain, "I'm wearing a women's jacket just to mirror you." Underneath all the out there imaginings is a desperate attempt at feeling a sense of connection with someone who is no longer in your life. On Texting an Alien, Keeley imagines what his ex could be doing at that specific moment. Here he seeks an almost cosmic connection by wearing something she would wear. The image brings to mind Ennis Del Mar in Brokeback Mountain hugging the clothing of his loved ones because he is unable to show his tenderness for them in person. Near the end of the track, Keeley's ramblings and feverish refrain of wearing a woman's jacket build up to a complete breakdown of a performance. He starts screaming at the top of his lungs. It seems even absurdity has failed him, and he can only express his emotions through frantic screams. It's worth noting that for all the sonic and thematic darkness, there is a levity and a whimsy that is also apparent throughout Gilla Band's music. Keeley himself has said, "I don't think the songs are ever bleak. I deliberately use playful language. The point isn't to be as dark and edgy as possible." Their wide-ranging influences, as well as sonic touchpoints that may not have even been intentional, are, I think, a testament to the dimensions within their music. There's joy, there's sorrow, there's absurdity. It's art made to express a wide berth of experiences. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to be doing more videos of this kind in the future, so feel free to subscribe. Take care.